got to invest more money in new product. They've got to find a way to do their marketing correctly. And that was an area where the CEO, Carlos Tavares, said he made a mistake. He actually came out and said, he told me just a few months ago,
the beloved American brands Jeep and Ram dealerships will be shut down. But this is just the start of it. Stellantis, the parent company of well-known brands like Dodge, Chrysler, Fiat, and of course Jeep and Ram, is facing some serious challenges right now. But what's the issue exactly? Can they bounce back from this? And how did we get here? Once a big name in the global automotive scene, its grip on the market is slipping due to a mix of issues that threaten its future. With a diverse lineup of 14 brands, Stellantis has catered to many consumer needs, making it one of the top players in the industry. However, recent numbers are not looking good. Stellantis' market share in the US has dropped to 10.56%, the lowest it's been in at least 6 years. Meanwhile, competitors like General Motors and Hyundai are gaining traction, and Jeep, known for its adventurous spirit, has seen its share fall to 4.41%, with sales plummeting by 20% year over year just in August 2024. But what happened? Well, right now Stellantis is in the middle of a pretty serious crisis when it comes to quality control. There are some truly alarming reports about engine fires and troublesome software glitches that are causing major headaches. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they actually threaten the safety of everyday consumers. On top of that, they are chipping away at the brand's reputation, a reputation that has taken years to build. It's becoming clear that Stellantis is struggling with its quality assurance processes, which should be in place to keep vehicles safe and reliable. Unfortunately, it looks like the internal systems meant to catch these issues before they reach consumers have notably failed. Stellantis has been facing tough scrutiny lately because reports of engine fires in Jeep models are making headlines. Investigations reveal that these engine fires can happen even when the vehicles are turned off, which is incredibly concerning. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, most incidents have been noted to start on the passenger front side of the engine compartment. This worrying trend points to some deep-rooted failures in both the design and manufacturing oversight, making many wonder whether Stellantis' quality control measures are really effective. In light of these troubling quality issues, Stellantis has taken the step of issuing recalls for over 781,500 vehicles, all due to the risks associated with engine fires. The recall process is subject to strict consumer safety regulations, which are designed to ensure that manufacturers act quickly whenever potential hazards pop up. These regulations exist to provide a safety net for consumers by protecting them from unsafe products, as well as ensuring that clear communication happens when recalls are announced. But despite these guidelines, many have criticized how Stellantis has executed these recalls, pointing out the company's lack of urgency and clarity. Often, consumers are left feeling confused about the details of the recalls, uncertain about which vehicles are involved, and unsure about what steps they should take to get their cars fixed. On top of that, Stellantis also initiated an extensive recall affecting approximately 1,460,000 Ram trucks due to software issues that could potentially disable electronic stability control systems, which are crucial for maintaining vehicle stability in tough driving conditions. Although Stellantis claims they will update the software at no charge to owners, the fact that so many serious issues exist raises serious red flags about how dedicated they are to consumer safety. These recent recalls spotlight glaring weaknesses in Stellantis' software development practices. Electronic stability control systems are incredibly important for preventing accidents, especially when the weather or road conditions are less than ideal. If these systems fail, it can lead to catastrophic results, including loss of control during driving, which no one wants. The fact that nearly 1,500,000 vehicles need to be recalled due to a mere software bug indicates major lapses in quality assurance during the development stages. Moreover, it seems that Stellantis has had a hard time integrating advanced technology into their vehicles effectively. There's a strong reliance on outdated software practices, which may leave vehicles more vulnerable and compromise not just their performance but also the safety of their drivers and passengers. In a time when vehicles are becoming increasingly dependent on complex software systems, it's critical for manufacturers to adopt and prioritize thorough testing protocols, ensuring that everything is solid before cars hit the market. What's the effect of all of this? The overall impact of these recalls has taken a significant toll on consumer trust in the Stellantis brand. People who once felt secure in their choice of Jeep and Ram for their rugged dependability are now second-guessing their safety. The loss of trust can have lasting effects. Once consumers lose faith in a brand's commitment to quality, it can feel like an uphill battle to win that trust back. From a financial viewpoint, these recalls are putting a considerable strain on Stellantis' resources. The cost tied to recalling vehicles, repairing them, compensating affected customers, and managing the public relations fallout can all add up, potentially spiraling into billions of dollars. Additionally, as sales take a hit due to the negative fallout from safety issues, the company finds itself under increasing pressure on its profit margins. The long-term effects of these quality-related issues stretch beyond immediate financial worries. They threaten the very core of what Jeep and Ram symbolize in the automotive world. Historically, these brands have been seen as paragons of ruggedness and reliability. However, ongoing safety concerns are now putting that reputation at serious risk. If consumer perception shifts too much, it could lead to declining sales, not just right now, but in the future as well, as potential buyers may choose to look toward competitors who are perceived as more trustworthy. The situation has caught the eye of regulatory bodies like the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is currently digging into reports of Jeep Wranglers catching fire while parked. These kinds of investigations can lead to even more scrutiny regarding Stellantis' practices. There's a chance this could result in additional penalties or orders for corrective measures. Regulatory responses may include stricter oversight on future vehicle releases or heightened requirements for transparency around safety practices. Taking everything into consideration, Stellantis faces a multifaceted crisis marked by engineering failures, insufficient software practices, and regulatory challenges. As the company navigates through this chaotic landscape, it's crucial for them to focus on restoring consumer trust through real, meaningful actions. They need to rectify existing issues and demonstrate that future vehicles will meet high safety standards. If they wish to reclaim their spot in a competitive automotive market, significant efforts will be required. The Leadership Carousel. Imagine driving a rugged Jeep known for its resilience and toughness, only to discover that the team responsible for steering the brand is in constant upheaval. That's exactly what's happening within Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep. The ongoing chaos at the top has turned into a precarious situation, putting the very foundation of the brand in jeopardy. With executives changing seats more frequently than a game of musical chairs, the company faces a significant risk of losing its direction. This situation contributes not only to operational inefficiencies, but also causes ripples throughout the corporate culture. It's affecting everything from employee morale to how customers perceive the brand. Let me break it down for you. So what happens when there's constant turnover at the executive level? It creates a vacuum of direction, leaving everyone feeling a bit lost. Each time a new executive steps in, they bring a fresh vision and strategy that can lead to sudden shifts in priorities. For example, one leader might dive headfirst into luxury branding, pushing for high-end features and premium prices. Meanwhile, another might have focused on keeping things rugged and affordable. This kind of inconsistency can confuse both employees and customers alike. When the brand identity is constantly shifting, it becomes tough for anyone to get on board. Employees might start feeling insecure about their roles, wondering what's expected of them, which can naturally lead to reduced morale and productivity as they struggle to keep up. Research has shown that the way leaders operate plays a huge role in shaping the organization's culture. Transformational leaders, those who inspire and motivate, can elevate the team, sparking innovation and collaboration. In contrast, transactional leaders often rely on rewards or punishments, which can stifle creativity and discourage intrinsic motivation. Stellantis finds itself lacking a clear leadership style, creating an atmosphere where employees grapple with uncertainty. What ends up happening? Disengagement sets in as employees become increasingly disoriented. Beyond just the internal team dynamics, the chaotic leadership environment has brewed a culture of mistrust among employees. When leaders come and go so frequently, it can leave everyone wondering whether the organization has any long-term vision or stability. This shaky ground leads employees to question the company's commitment to their growth and job security. Trust, once eroded, can be tough to rebuild. Many employees might start looking for more stable opportunities, causing higher turnover rates. This instability doesn't just influence internal morale, it poses risks for customer perceptions as well. Customers expect brands like like Jeep to provide consistent quality and reliable service. Frequent leadership changes can lead to inconsistency in product quality and customer service standards. If one executive prioritizes slashing costs, which might result in quality control issues like recalls for engine fires, it can erode customer faith in the brand. With Jeep's sales already declining amid these mounting challenges, the stakes are high. Looking to the past, several case studies clearly show how leadership changes have impacted employee morale and customer perceptions. Back in the early 2000s, Chrysler faced high executive turnover, which created confusion around its strategic direction. Employees expressed feelings of demotivation due to mixed messages filtering down from leadership regarding company goals. Consequently, Chrysler found itself struggling with plummeting sales and a shrinking market share during this tumultuous time. On a more positive note, look at Ford under CEO Alan Mulally. His steady leadership emphasized open communication and collaboration, leading to a significant boost in employee morale and engagement. Thanks to his consistent vision, Ford managed to navigate financial difficulties without having to rely on government bailouts. After the bankruptcy that hit General Motors in 2009, the company turned things around by putting stable leadership in place with CEO Mary Barra. Barra's focus on transparency and accountability created a culture of trust and significantly improved employee engagement. This shift not only revitalized GM's internal culture, but also played a crucial role in restoring consumer confidence in its products. These examples illustrate just how important stable leadership is in shaping both the corporate culture and the way customers view a brand. In stark contrast, the ongoing executive turnover at Stellantis serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the risks associated with instability at the top. But what the inventory crisis? Let's dive into the pressing issue that's hitting Stellantis right now. Think of it as an inventory crisis that has dealerships across the United States drowning in unsold vehicles. What's the cause? Well, it seems to be a mix of many things. Imagine walking into a dealership and seeing rows and rows of vehicles that just aren't moving. That's the reality for many dealers right now, where operations are feeling the strain of excess inventory. Did you know that dealers currently have an eye-popping 77-day supply of Jeeps? That's a full 24 days longer than the industry average of 53 days. Talk about a challenge. With so many unsold vehicles piling up, dealerships are finding it tough to manage their sales strategies effectively while trying to maintain profitability. This surplus isn't just an inconvenience, it ties up capital and increases operational costs. Dealerships still have bills to pay while they're struggling to move those cars off their lots. With all those cars sitting there, many dealerships are having to rethink their game plan completely. They're rolling out aggressive sales tactics, throwing up heavy discounts and promotional events, all in hopes of clearing out older models to make space for the fresh ones. But there's a catch. These strategies can backfire. When every dealership is slashing prices, profit margins start to slip away, and consumers may begin to see a brand as less valuable. It's a tricky balancing act. When we take a closer look at Stellantis' current inventory levels, it's clear they're far from the industry norm. As per recent data, while the average dealership keeps about 53 days of inventory on hand, Stellantis has a staggering 77-day supply. This sizable difference paints a concerning picture of inefficiency in inventory management and raises some serious questions about how well the company is predicting market demand and consumers' wants. Moreover, Stellantis' struggles are compounded by its inability to adjust production and shipping strategies in light of falling sales. At first, the company set a goal to limit its US inventory to 330,000 vehicles by early 2025. But guess what? That target has now been moved up to the end of 2024, reflecting a pressing urgency to tackle this surplus. In a bold move, Stellantis plans to cut shipments by 200,000 vehicles in the latter half of 2024 compared to the previous year. That's a pretty drastic step that underscores just how serious this inventory crisis really is. Pricing strategies and the impact. With competition heating up and consumer preferences shifting, Stellantis dealers find themselves in a tight spot when it comes to pricing strategies. During the pandemic, the company decided to raise vehicle prices, but they didn't adjust those prices as the market changed. Now many Jeep, Ram, and Dodge models are sitting at prices that feel too high compared to competitors. It's no surprise that dealers are now seeing sales drop by 20% in the third quarter of 2024, for instance. That's causing them to offer larger discounts just to woo some buyers back into the showrooms. But here's where it gets tougher. Inflation and rising interest rates have made many consumers more cautious about spending. They're thinking twice before making significant purchases, especially when they face high monthly payments for vehicles that are losing value quickly. To make matters worse, some buyers find themselves underwater on their loans, meaning they owe more than their vehicle is actually worth. This situation makes them hesitant to trade in their cars for new ones, adding another layer of complication to the sales process. The inventory crisis isn't just a dealership problem, it sends shockwaves through local economies and impacts job numbers in those communities. Dealerships dealing with piles of unsold inventory and shrinking profits sometimes have to shut down entirely or shift operations to focus on selling used cars. Just recently, one dealership made the tough call to cease operations due to its inability to sell new vehicles. This is a loss that not only eliminates local jobs, but also shrinks consumer choices in those neighborhoods. As dealerships scramble to cut expenses in response to their dwindling profits, layoffs could become inevitable. This potential job loss can hit local economies hard, especially in smaller towns that rely on car sales for jobs and income. Even the closure of one dealership can create a ripple effect, leading to economic downturns in communities that depend heavily on these businesses. Stellantis' inventory crisis shows just how serious the repercussions of misguided pricing strategies and poor inventory management can be. The fallout isn't just financial distress for the company, it also affects individual dealerships and the communities surrounding them. With dealers currently struggling to cope with unsold vehicles, the pressure is ramping up on Stellantis leadership to craft effective solutions. Restoring a balance between supply and demand isn't just beneficial for the company's bottom line, it's crucial for ensuring dealer profitability and maintaining consumer trust. What steps will be taken to revive this situation? That's the question that everyone is waiting to see answered. So let's talk about their new strategy. The electric gamble. Stellantis is making some big moves right now. The company is diving headfirst into a transformative journey by investing a whopping $406 million to upgrade 3 plants in Michigan specifically for electric vehicle production. This is no small change, and it's part of a broader strategy that the company is adopting to keep up with the fast-paced evolution of the automotive landscape. As we all know, electrification is becoming a central theme in this industry, but this ambitious move is not without its challenges, and let's be honest, Stellantis is entering the electric vehicle market a bit late, and they have a tough road ahead to achieve cost parity with traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. Now, let's unpack this investment. The upgrades are focused on the Sterling Heights assembly plant, where Stellantis will produce the Ram 1500 REV, which happens to be their first fully electric truck. Plus, there will be other electrified models rolling off the assembly line too. This move aligns perfectly with Stellantis' Dare Forward 2030 plan, aiming for 50% of its sales in North America to come from electric vehicles by the year 2030. It's clear that the strategic focus on electrification is responding to broader market trends, as more consumers are expressing a desire for sustainable and efficient vehicles. However, the late entry of Stellantis into this competitive arena brings up some important questions about their ability to effectively capture market share. Can they really keep up? The automotive sector is witnessing a massive shift toward electric vehicles. This transition is largely driven by tighter emissions regulations and a significant change in consumer preferences. Stellantis' investment shows that they understand these evolving trends, but it also sheds light on the risks associated with shifting from a traditional manufacturing model to one that prioritizes electric vehicle production. The company has to navigate many obstacles, from technological hurdles to convincing consumers that electric vehicles can thrive in segments that have long been dominated by rugged internal combustion engine models. When it comes to the competitive landscape for electric vehicles, the heat is definitely on. Established car manufacturers and new players are all vying for dominance. To give you an idea, take Tesla for instance. They've set incredibly high standards for performance and technology in the electric vehicle space. Meanwhile, traditional giants like Ford and General Motors are not sitting idle. They're ramping up their electric vehicle offerings like never before. Stellantis' late arrival means they not only need to innovate, but also find ways to stand out in an already crowded marketplace. There's there's another layer to this challenge. Critics are questioning whether electric Jeeps will resonate with the brand's core customer base, who have historically cherished ruggedness and off-road capabilities. The Jeep brand's reputation is all about vehicles that excel in tough terrains, so there's skepticism about whether an electric version can really meet those expectations. Consumer preferences are shifting, no doubt, but will they really embrace an electric Jeep that may not deliver the same rugged performance characteristics that they've come to love? Well, let's have a chat about consumer preferences, especially when it comes to off-roading. In these situations, buyers typically prioritize certain attributes: durability, range, and performance. These are characteristics that are traditionally tied to internal combustion engine vehicles. Though battery technology is advancing and improving things like range and power for electric vehicles, there are still concerns about how these cars perform in extreme conditions. The ruggedness that's expected from a Jeep may not simply translate to an electric model without some serious engineering innovations. For Stellantis, it's crucial to carry out extensive market research to really grasp how consumers feel about electrification within their core segments. If potential buyers perceive electric Jeeps as inferior versions of the models they adore, Stellantis is at risk of alienating its loyal fan base. It's a delicate balancing act that requires thoughtful consideration, but there is a problem: the last nail in the coffin. See, Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, has raised a big red flag about a looming price war in the electric vehicle, or EV market. This situation could really shake up profitability for the entire automotive industry. As competition heats up, car manufacturers are beginning to feel an intense pressure to chop prices in order to attract potential buyers. The catch here is that this sort of price slashing could result in profit margins that simply aren't sustainable over time. For Stellantis, which is already dealing with falling sales numbers and overall financial instability, becoming entangled in a price war could spell serious trouble and worsen an already challenging situation. Think about the possible economic fallout from what's unfolding. It could be pretty severe. Just recently, Stellantis saw its net income plummet by an astonishing 48% in the first half of the year. This drop has brought their earnings down to just $6.1 billion. If this trend of declining profitability continues, it could seriously jeopardize the company's long-term viability and future prospects. Right now, it's absolutely crucial for Stellantis' ambitious electrification plans to find a balance with these stark financial realities. Otherwise, they run the risk of overextending themselves in an already unpredictable and volatile market landscape. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into Stellantis' investment choices. Their recent commitment of $406 million in Michigan stands as a significant stride toward electrification. However, it's also a somewhat risky gamble on what the future of mobility will look like. As they navigate this transformation, the company faces a slew of vital questions. They need to consider issues such as how well consumers will accept electric vehicle models, the nature of competition in the EV sector, and how to maintain financial health while the threat of price wars looms large. For Stellantis, achieving success will depend on their ability to innovate and adapt, all while sticking to the rugged identity that their brands have been known for over the years. If they can nail this balance, they won't just secure their foothold in the ever-evolving automotive landscape, they could absolutely redefine what it means to be a true leader in both the traditional and electric vehicle markets. Imagine Stellantis not only surviving but thriving amid this rapidly shifting terrain. Now that's a game changer. But what now? Is this the end for these companies? For employees, the looming bankruptcy translates into job insecurity and the real possibility of layoffs. Stellantis has already announced nearly 2,400 layoffs at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant. This downsizing creates anxiety and dissatisfaction among workers, especially as union grievances continue to grow. The United Auto Workers has expressed concerns over broken promises regarding job security, complicating already fragile labor relations. Suppliers are also at risk. If Stellantis files for bankruptcy, it could disrupt supply chains and lead to unpaid debts, causing financial woes for many suppliers. On the consumer side, the loss of iconic brands like Jeep, Dodge, and Ram would impact availability and carry cultural significance. These brands represent more than vehicles. They embody American identity and history, and compounding the uncertainty is the looming threat of a national strike by the workers' union, especially after Stellantis rejected proposals aimed at job security. Union President Sean Fain warns that widespread strikes could cripple production capabilities further. Historical context shows that labor strikes can lead to corporate instability. For example, General Motors suffered significantly during the 2008 financial crisis due to labor unrest. past. But what's your take on this? Let's know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.